guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator. And today I'm back in the Citation 10. Funny thing, I was on my way from Houston, Texas to my home airport, and lo and behold, I got distracted and got tired on the way, so I decided to put her down and get some rest before I decided to start back up. And we wound up in Waynesboro. So, and let's see, I think we're in, Waynesboro, Mississippi, of all places. One Mississippi, two Mississippi, just joking. All right, so I'm in the Citation 10, and a little bit again about the Citation 10. The tail number we're flying is 750 Sierra Whiskey, even though it shows X-ray Papa on the tail. The Citation 10 is a great airplane. It's default in X-Plane 12, and it is perhaps at this point in time probably my favorite X-Plane 12 aircraft. Now, I think that's because the systems are a little different from the Garmin, and they go pretty deep. Let me jump in the cockpit and let me show you what the cockpit looked like if you haven't already seen it. All right, so and this cockpit may on the surface look pretty complicated, but once you get familiar with this aircraft, then it's really pretty simple. So I do have a a checklist that I'm going to open up. Now, this one does not support the AviTab, but I can still start the AviTab. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pull up the checklist. The version that I'm using is going to be V.2.03, this one. Yeah. All right. So, and this is kind of a checklist of my own making. You can find this checklist by Googling X plane citation X or citation 10 checklist. Incidentally, the reason I refer to it as the citation 10 because it's actually the Roman numeral 10 and not the letter X. This I've heard from real world pilots that they often just call the citation the 10. All right, so let's get started here. All right, so we got our V speeds here. Of course, if we can get our FMC program correctly, it'll give us the V speeds based on the outside temperature and the weight and about the weights that we're carrying. All right, and documents are on board. Takeoff briefing has been completed. Gear lever is down. Good catch there. Um, Circuit breakers are all in. Got circuit breakers on this side and that side. Fuel cutoff switches are in the off position, and I actually don't know where the fuel cutoff switches are. Uh, I've I've seen the fuel boost, so I might need to change that or either take that out if I can't find cutoff switches. Um, Flight control, shut off. Let's see. Anyway, I don't want to get bogged down, but actually, that's something I really just noticed. Ignition needs to be in the off position. It's a three-way switch, so let's throw it in the off position. And batteries 1 and 2 can come on. Battery 1 and battery 2. All right. And I can tell that they're on because I got my master caution, my master warning, and my caution, rather. Okay, avionics ICAS can go on, and avionics standby power can go on. And I don't know if you can hear those fans in the background. I turn up the volume just so hopefully you can. And yeah, standby power. Now, the standby power is the power to standby equipment. Um, so that's why we want that on. Let's see, hydraulic A aux pump. Now, right now, our brakes are probably leaked down, so we want an electronic hydraulic pump turned on to pump up our brakes, um, or any other thing that we, for well, for whatever reason, we might need the brakes. And ground recognition lights can come on. Whoops, that's not the right button. Let people know that we're about to do something. So rep recognition is this is a three-way switch. Off is down, ground recognition is up, and then strobes are all the way up. So with this aircraft, you kind of got to learn and just know that, because it's not labeled as strobes. All right, APU master can come on, and APU start. Got to hold it a couple seconds, and there she go. So APU generator can go on. It's a two-way switch, so it only has two positions. And then APU bleed arrow can go on. But I don't like turning my bleed arrow on until I get 100% on my APU. That's kind of my company's policy. So now it's on, and this is a three-way switch. So if I hit it up one more time, then I would put it on max cool, and you can see it drawing more power, but it is December right now, so I don't really need it on max cool. All right, and you can tell it's December by looking at the trees outside. Actually, it still shows the fall foliage because we are in Mississippi. All right, so we got our APU on. Our bleed air can go on. Let's get closer so we can see things. All right, and this is another, or one of those things that you kind of just have to know what they're talking about when they say bleed air. So this is our bleed air here, and we turn those two positions on. Bleed air, let's see, on. Okay, and environmental packs check, and and I guess I should have mentioned this, but when that bleed air came on, then you could see uh, this change a little bit. All right, turn it back on and turn it back on, and that should come up a little bit. Let me go ahead and hit max cool here. For whatever reason, I'm not sure how in depth Laminar has modeled this portion of the sim, but just for the sake of immersion, then I will just go ahead and assume that that's all modeled deeply. Probably not, but God, I hope somebody take the sim and decided to mod it, kind of like they did the Zebo. In fact, if um, if anybody with any talent, and I don't have any programming talent at all, but if I will be willing to provide some server space for some collaboration, if anybody want to take this project on and make this the business jet of flight sim, sort of like you guys did with the Zebo being the Boeing um, community jet that Zebo started. Anyway, you get the idea. So reach out to me on Discord if you are interested. My Discord channel is, I put it in the notes in this video, and it's on this chat list at the very bottom. This chat list can be found by Googling, as I mentioned, the Citation X chat list for Explain. All right, let's see. Avionics power can come on. And let's get over on this, on the pilot side. Okay, avionics power on, and my avionics has come alive. I wish the avionics would do a more realistic startup, um, but would simulate going through some self checks. But hopefully, if this do get modded, then that'll be one of the things that somebody might want to take on. All right, let's see. Let's keep going here. Radio. So we are in Wayne's, and I do know that the CTAF is 122. Let's see, I had looked it up earlier on Sky Vector, and it is 122.8. So let's just go ahead and drop 122.8 here, and I hope you can see this counting down. Uh, that's one of the reasons why I like to record in 4K. So this stuff, hopefully, for those who watch it on a 4K device, will be able to see it real clearly. All right. Let's see. Now that's 122.8. Got that in the box. So we can get rid of the box, and I won't worry about the. I'm not gonna. Well, they did some work with the ATC for X-Plane. It used to be really, I mean really annoying to the point where you could not use it at all. So yeah, we might go ahead and try using the ATC for this simulator, X-Plane 12. All right, let's see. Autopilot disengaged. It is disengaged. Yaw damper is on, so we'll go ahead and turn the yaw damper off at the moment. And oxygen, and our cruising altitude for this flight is going to be 35, flight level 350, 35,000 feet. And we are good to 48,000 feet. So yeah, in fact, we could actually bring it down a little and still be okay. We'll put it to 38,000 feet. We shouldn't go over that. All right. And let's see, fuel. Now, this is where things might get a little interesting. I think every time I spawn, trying to say the word spawn in some sort of pretense or present or past tense pretense, then I want to say span. Anyway, every time I spun in, it always have the fuel that I last had when I set the weight and balance on the fuel. Right now, let me pop this out. Right now, I'm seeing 7,800 pounds on fuel, 3,500 in each tank. So yeah, we'll just leave it there, okay? And then we got our warning tests. I'm sorry, we got our flight plan. All right, so let's go ahead and enter our flight plan. Now, I do have a flight plan. I did generate the flight plan in not Sky Vector, SimBrief. So I'm actually going to import it rather than having to put it in manually, and then we'll go through it and check it. All right, so let's go ahead and do our initialization, and GPS is giving us this page. We only got one page. All right, so these are close enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to flight plan, and then I'm going to go to nav and flight plan list. Now, up until release candidate 3, anything on page 2 of the flight plan list, you could not import for whatever reason. However, even though I haven't tested it personally, I read in the the notes that that's been addressed. So hopefully you can import any flight plan. Anyway, we're at Waynesboro, which is 2 Romeo 0. So this is the flight plan that we want, and we're going to activate that guy. All right, so our flight plan takes us with our first waypoint is Kane, which is 44 nautical miles. It's suggesting that we be at flight level 219, which is pretty aggressive. So I don't expect to be at 219 at Kane. This aircraft is certainly capable of it, but yeah. In fact, let's do this. Do um, let's do two. Let me think. Let's do two. We'll fly 280 slash, and let's just make this 18 flight level 1800 at this level, and no entry allowed. So yeah, the FMC here is based on the real FMC in the 10. In fact, the 10 actually have these exact same buttons. I think it's based on a Honeywell version for this aircraft, but no entry allowed. But it's not fully modeled. Some stuff, the stuff that you need to put in will work, but sometimes, you know, like I can't change the number of passengers that the flight plan that the FMC see. In fact, I get to that. All right, let's just keep going. Next page. Got 3 pages, parallels and KRDU. Now, theoretically, since I know the arrival that I want to enter, theoretically I ought to be able to put it in, and I can. Um, so, but sometimes if I don't have some stuff filled out, I can't. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do the DM star arrival, and that's going to be this guy, and Parals is going to be my transition for this arrival, and I'm going to go ahead and activate this. Now, I don't know what my approach is going to be at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about my approach until I get a little closer. I don't know if I'm going to do an RNAV or a ILS, nor do I know which runway I'm going to use, because we are still a good little ways away from RDU. We're 500 nautical miles, so that's roughly that's over an hour. So yeah, uh, we'll figure that out en route. All right, flight plans in. So let's go ahead and set up our purse, and 1 of 5 pages. Next page. This looks okay. Cruise at 300. Yep, I can live with that. And climb to 7. Now let's see if it'll allow us to change this. 280 slash, and let's see if it takes the 280. And it did. Okay, so that's good to know. And descent, we will do the 270. Yeah, we'll put these big Rolls Royce engines to work. All right. Step now. Fuel reserve. Let's see. MBAA. I'm not sure what that means. If any of you guys know, put it in the comments. up until the Challenger 650 came out, I was not a jet person, but I had to learn to fly that jet, which means in order to be able to fly, had to learn how to use the FMC, and also since I love the 10 so much, I had to learn to use the FMC here also. All right, um, takeoff landing fuel. I think that needs to be calculated, so it just doesn't have enough data. Initial cruise altitude, flight level 350. Now I could put in 35,000 and it would know what I'm talking about. So it does say I'm going to have a 60 knot wind, um, cruise. It's expecting me to cruise at 263 true, um, and that remains to be seen, I guess. Next, all right. Now this stopped working for some reason. I used to be able to to have the fuel sensed by clicking here and then clicking this again, and lo and behold, it worked that time. Wow. Well, at least it worked that time, so I guess we'll take it, right? All right. Cargo, 905 pounds. That's what I had when I left Houston. And so, yeah, we're not taking any cargo off. And confirm this. And yeah, so we've got that set. And then I take off. All right. Got 4 pages here. And runway, uh, let's see, I'm not sure which runway I'm going to use at the moment. Winds are 118 at 2. And let me just compare that against weather from Sky Vector if I can get the weather for this airport by clicking over top of it. I can't. Um, but we do have our APU running, so which means that we should be able to tune our radios to the AWAS or ASOS net frequency. And I don't see a frequency for AWAS for this airport, but there is a airport close by called Hassler Noble Field, and its AWAS frequency is 119.27. So we'll throw that in COM2, and let me get closer for you so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so 119 point, I tell you, memory is gone. 119.27. All right, so I got 123.8 in there, so we'll go forward. And I'm dialing up 25, 26, 27, and then 119, I can pull it down. And we'll swap that in. And now we'll just swing this out the way. And let's see, I guess we can get rid of this temporarily and get our AWAS. Hopefully we're close enough to that station to get it. I have noticed that with X-Plane 12, sometimes it takes a while before the AWAS comes in, so oftentimes I just kind of got to be patient and get something to write with. I'm not hearing the AWAS, and it is an AWAS, automated weather observation system. Alright, so let me check the frequency, 119.27 and 119.27. Make sure COM2 is engaged. so we may still be out of range. Um, but I get it. Okay, winds are calm at the station is Kialora, uh, Clear Laura, and winds are calm. Altimeter 3012. All right, so just make a note. Um, and calm. All right, so at least we got something that we can start up with for this airport. Actually, looking at the windsock, look like I might have a slight crosswind, but um, since it's not laying flat, then maybe there's a 5 knot wind or a 4 knot wind. Um, but yeah, but we'll just treat them as calm, which means that we can take either runway. All right. Actually, we'll take whatever runway this is. If well, it looks like we might have a perfect crosswind. Anyway, I digress. So let's get this back up. And winds, this guy says that on the surface the winds at 2 knots. So yeah, that's pretty consistent. All right, and the temperature at that airfield was 19, and this is showing 21, so it could be a couple degrees Celsius warmer where I'm at. All right, so yeah. All right, so that checks out, and let's go with climb. Um, Now we hadn't set the altimeter yet. Let's see if we set it, if that updates. I don't think it will. 3012 is what I said it looked like it is, what it is. 3012, yeah, that's changing. All right, good deal. And might as well do a backup while we're at it. That way we don't let that slip past us. 3012. And one thing I don't like about the backup altimeter is it doesn't have a button that I can hit for standard. So when I get above 18,000 feet, I have to dial in the standard. All right, so yeah, um, I'm looking good. All right, and one thing about the 10 is it gets the weather. It constantly updates the weather automatically. So I don't have to do anything to put in winds or anything like that. Next page. Okay, runway is dry, and here's another situation where I did a flight the other day, and the runway was wet, and I couldn't click on this guy and change it to wet. So, the FMC just ain't modeled deep enough for me to to say, hey, I got a wet runway. So those are some of the kinds of things that need to be done. All right, next page. And we're going to do a flat 15-degree takeoff. And takeoff weight is is 31,000. Let me just go back a second. I still haven't gotten to the point where it asks me how many passengers. So let's see. This is takeoff initiation. Let's see. So let's do. Let's go back to perf data. Let me back there where I got to execute this before I can get out. Now my next page I actually should get my V speeds. All right, so I got my V speeds, and what I tend to like to do is take COM2 and grab the takeoff data and grab the takeoff data. I have to remember where it's at, and leave it set on the V speeds. All right, so I can get rid of that. Now, um, and let's see, climb. Yeah, so we've done that already. Done cruise, just to kind of review, and yeah, and descend. 3-degree angle. And I'm not familiar with this FMC enough to even know what DTG stands for. Um, I guess this is would be the fuel remaining, and um, and this ought to be in pounds, I suspect. Um, but landing at KRDU, um, and looks like winds are 5. Let's see. Um, Pressure altitude's 5. I'm not sure what that means. I guess that the altimeter. Oh yeah, pressure altitude is -5. So that means that the altimeter is different at RDU than it is here. So I'm having to figure stuff out. All right, flight plan. I don't want the flight plan just yet. I got 3 pages. And uh, approach speed is 136 and VREF is 131. That's good to know. All right. And I'm gonna go back to my press, back to my initial. Okay, yeah, and this is where I was telling you about I can't change the passengers. Let's say I want 4 passengers, right? And each passenger weighs 200 pounds. Let's say I got 4 big guys. And if I try to put it in here, it just won't take it. I can't. This is hard coded. So yeah, this. So there are a few things about the FMC that need to be sorted out, and just need people with skill to grab it and do it. I'm sure that Laminar would be okay with it if you want uh, me to reach out to Laminar to make sure, maybe get it in writing that we could go up under the hood and fix these things, and I will. Just want it done. Anyway, let's see. So I have no skill at managing projects, but if 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 any of you guys got talent, I'm willing to take it on. All right. Let's see. So I think we're done with this guy here. Actually, let's look at the flight plan one more time. Sure. All right. So we got 45 nautical miles, 44.2 nautical miles to our first flight plan, to our first waypoint. And I thought that we changed this, or at least we tried to change it. Anyway, we are going to accept what's there. Yeah, and we will expect 300 at cruise, 300 at flight level 350, and next for pearls, we still at 300, 350. Could, let's see, Paris is that, how close is Paris to Charlotte? I'm gonna pop in the sky vector and just kind of look at Paris on the map and make sure that yeah, that's actually in Paris is actually near Columbia, South Carolina. So yeah, that's, we don't have to worry about descending there. So this time I'm gonna do FL 350 to show you it would take either way, and it start descending us at Jordy, and we'll come on down. Descent, descent. Actually, descent 300. I'm say 280. This is the speed, and yeah, so it slows us down to 300. Now, this does not have auto throttle, so that means that I've got to manage the speeds. All right, and then this is going to be our arrival point, and we'll do D- this DM start arrival, and let's see, I think we did, yeah, we did already put the arrival in. All right, and yeah, and our alternate is actually KGSO or Greensboro, but again, the sim will not allow us, the FMC would not allow us to put an arrival, an alternate in. So, a couple of things. All right, so we got that fixed, and we're ready. We're happy with the programming of the FMC. All right, so what's next? What is next? So get back to our checklist and add the tab. All right, put that in the right place. All right, so flight plan warning tests. All right, so we got a bunch of those to do, right? So they are actually right here. Smoke detect, landing gear. This one is, let's see, this one is a fire warning here. Thrust reverse, and trying to see if we get any, we get a mouse to caution, and we should get a warning. Let's see, I think that warning shows up somewhere on MFD. All right, so next, where is this button? There it is. Flaps. And wing, see, W/S, I want to say wing overspeed, and a stick shaker, and the annunciator, to bring our attention to our PDF for whatever reason, and the audible stuff works. Okay, so yeah, we're good there. Now, bear in mind, guys, that this is a default aircraft. It is a default aircraft. Can I say that again? Default. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, and I did kind of gloss over the thrust reverse. I think maybe I may have to have the engines running. Let's see. Let me go back to that test. Okay, so yeah, I get these lights here. That's what I was looking for. When I was when I had when I was at the other view, I just wasn't looking up high enough. All right, so yeah, I'm good. All right, so for thrust reverse, I won't see it on the MFD, but I see it here in the thrust reverse um, annunciator. All right, warning tests. Just did V speeds are set. Altimeter is set. 3012 hydraulics. Now we got 3000 on the electronic hydraulics, um, and I won't get the other hydraulics until I start the engine up. All right. but we know we got enough hydraulics to set our brake. All right, doors, let's do a starter. Doors and windows are closed. Seatbelt signs can go on. Anti-ice as required. Don't require an anti-ice at the moment. And next page, let's go to the top of this page, next page. All right, brakes are set. Visually check that out. And charts are removed. Don't have any marshalers, so I had to remove them myself. And throttle should be cut off, and they are. These are my throttles, and this is the cutoff position. All right, so engine right, engine start light is extinguished. Ignition can go to normal. And engage the starter. 1001, 1002. NG is coming up on that starter. When it gets up to 20%, then I can introduce fuel. All right, 20%, and she should start to stabilize. And she is stabilizing, so I can introduce fuel at any point. Whoa, bring that down. Throttles were in the wrong position. All right, so she is coming alive. And I want 256 on these first digits. Right now I got 246. So as soon as I get 256, I know I got a good start, and I can start engine. I can turn off the ignition and start engine number, the left engine. All right. And she's counting up at her leisure. She's slowly counting up 210. There we go. 256. All right. So let's turn this ignition off, and we'll turn, see, for the left, lights extinguished, turn ignition to norm, and engine start is engaged. N2 is above 20%, and so I can go ahead and bring that up. And she is coming alive. I want 256 on that side also. Now, in reality, the ITT, in N1, the numbers may not be 256 because there are things that could affect the idle. Um, whether or not you are running the APU, could be one. That's, of course, you wouldn't start it up on ground power, but I don't think. But I think there are things that could affect it. All right, so I got 256 now. All right, so yeah, there we go. All right, got a good start. And after start, engine gauge is checked, and ICAS look good. Of course, I got some CAS messages. All right, so generators right and left can come on. There's my right generator and my left generator. Hydraulic pump A can go off. All right, so because I'm seeing 3,000 on both sides, now I can turn this off, and I still got 3,000 psi of hydraulic pressure. Okay, and what's next after start? Okay, APU bleed generator and start can bleed and generator can go off, and start can go to stop. So I'm gonna turn off the bleed air, and the generator I can leave on. So I am gonna elect to leave that on, but I am gonna stop the APU. And while that's happening, I can go ahead and get my center wing transfer set to normal. Three-way switches here. And cabin pressure can be set, and I've already checked it, but you know, with cabin pressure, that's important enough to look at it a second time and even a third time in a lot of checklists. So yeah, that's gonna be 38,000 feet. And get my taxi instructions. I don't have any ATC at this airport, but we do know that what we are going to do is, there we go, is taxi to runway 02 via the taxiway that parallels 02. All right, 02 is going to point us roughly to the north. So we're going to make a right turn. We're going to bear to the right on takeoff to join our path. Now, I am going to have to look over here just to make sure that's 02 and not, oh, wait a minute, see that, I'm glad I did, because we're going to take off on 20. So we're going to be headed to the southwest, and that means that we're going to need to bear to the left to we're gonna do it. Well, we just do a left downwind departure out of here. All right. So we got that. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. We got that sorted out. All right. What's next? Let's get our um, thing back up. Let's see. I actually can make it a little larger, can I? All right. All right. So pre-takeoff. All right. So now that we got that done, our APU should be cool enough to turn off. And we'll go ahead and turn that guy off. It had already been stopped. Flaps as required, so we want 15 degrees of flaps. And we'll go to the co-pilot side so we can see the flaps come down. That's slack, 5 and 15. And I gotta be careful with that because I'm not used to having so many degrees to get up to 0. So a lot of times I find myself flying with the slacks out, and I don't know what slacks mean, whether that means at 2%, 1%, or just what. But I got to remember to actually pay attention to this piece here to make sure that they're all the way in. All right, and taxi lights can go on. Taxi lights are down here. And let's see, we don't need nav lights. And we'll put the strobe lights on at the runway. Speed brake is full forward. And left bleed air and right bleed air need to come on, and that's required for our cabin pressure. So in real life, there are probably multiple checks for that. All right, and pitot heat, windshield heat, and so we'll do pitot heat, windshield heat, and there was something else that I need. Oh, did we set our trim? Let's see. Trim is here, and I like to set that at about 5 to 5, 6, somewhere there about. The the trims must be in a table somewhere, or I did not see that the FMC gave me a trim figure. Let's see, and so I'm going to need to turn on my landing lights, pitot heat, and windshield heat when I take the runway. So that's three things that I need to do. And let's go ahead and make sure that our TCAS is on, and let's set our range on our TCAS to 12 nautical miles. Um, we got 6, 12, and 20, and our TCAS is not engaged at the moment, but when we get ready to engage it, we just hit this button. All right. Well, let's see this button here, and see when I hit it, you can see how it populates. All right, and right now we'll take off we'll take off VFR, and let's see, anything else am I missing? I guess that's it. All right, and Waynesboro traffic citation 750 Sierra Whiskey is taxiing to runway 20 for left downwind departure to the northwest Waynesboro. All right, so I made that call. And now, the question is, can I get out of here without having to do a reverse thrust back up? I believe I can, so let's try this. Brakes are in, taxi lights are set, beacon light is on. All right, give it a little feel. Get moving forward just a bit. Ooh, look at that, guys. How you like them apples? How you like me now? All right. One of the reasons why you guys may not have been seeing a lot of videos with people flying in X-Plane 12 is the betas, at least in my case, have really been unstable. So I constantly kept starting flights, and for whatever reason, wow, they got a long displacement on this whole short, don't they? I constantly kept starting flights, and for various reasons, the sim would crash. So lately, it's been running a lot more stable. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make my call here, believe it or not. And we got those three things to remember to do. That was windshield heat, pitot heat, and landing lights. Landing lights. Waynesboro traffic citation 750 Sierra Whiskey is taking runway 20 for left downwind departure, Waynesboro. All right, so get the landing lights and strobes too. I'm gonna do it before I start moving, because every time I'm doing it and I'm not moving, then I tend to, let's see, yeah, I tend to run off into the grass. All right, so this was my pitot heat, and we'll throw some windshield heat on, because we know we're going up pretty high. All right, there we go. How you like me now? I am so curious as to why the whole short line is so far back. Um, but it is what it is, right? It looked like almost like a picnic area over to my left. And so the runway is already mine. Oh, wait a minute. There is another whole short line. Maybe that was the odd. Huh, thought I did see two double lines. Oh well, I already made the call. Waynesboro traffic, Waynesboro traffic citation 750 Sierra Whiskey taking runway 20 Waynesboro. And that is incorrect phraseology, taking the runway. I should have said, yeah, taking, uh, should have said taking off. All right, flaps are set, lights, camera, action. See, all that stuff you learn flying Cessna still apply, right? Flying the 172 and the 152. All right. So I need to be able to zoom in to see my V speeds. Whoa, get over there. Okay. V1, rotate. Gear up. Fly by. Waynesboro traffic, citation 7550 Whiskey, turning crosswind for left downwind departure, Waynesboro. Now, technically, I should be out of their airspace. I got a downdraft on that. I tell you what.
Automated weather observation. Consular Noble Field weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility 8 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 19. Dew
Now,
point 16. Altimeter 3010.
3010. So now I'm getting the ATIS that I was not getting, the AWAS from the other airport. All right, so go ahead and engage our now so we can get our flight director. Engage our yaw damper. And I'm at 4,100 feet. Go ahead and let's see if I got an after takeoff checklist that I can run. And I'm gonna make this a little smaller now. And actually, if I can put it right here, that would be awesome. Now, according to the let's see. There we go. That's where I want to be. All right. Pre-takeoff. After takeoff, gears up. Autopilot is engaged now. go to flight plan, right? And hit direct. Okay. And I think that engages it. Next page, next page. I think that engages it. All right. Because I don't really have a execute button. Nav, and let's go to VNav, FMC. Yeah, we do the FMC. And so if we're going to do FMC, then yeah, we got this set at 2, which is what I want. Actually, I'm not in a Bravo, so I actually can set that. Let's see, at, why is it not changing? Oh, it's changing. I actually can set this to my 270 for my climb. Push my throttles back up to 93. All right. And set my altitude to my climb, to my cruise. Well, technically what we want to do is talk to ATC, get our clearance, and clear it as filed squawk code 4242. And so that on 12, put this here, 4242. And got a squawk in. And radar contact 7500 whiskey. All right, and look at my speed. I'm on flight level change, and my speed is not holding for whatever reason. And my nav is not capturing either. Direct. Let's see. All right, so this is my magenta line. I am flying towards it, so maybe I just need to capture it. All right, flaps can come up, and flight director is on. Landing and taxi lights can go off. Flaps can come up another notch, and they're still not fully retracted. I should be at slack either 5, but I'm gonna take them out and check my speed. So as I take them flaps out, she speeds up, and look like she might be trying to capture that. No, if she was trying to capture that magenta line, I believe she might would have caught it at the tip. Let's see if she swing back to the right. Oil pressure is in the green. All right. Next page. And next, yeah, she didn't capture it. So let's do a heading. And let's push that heading bug in to get rid of this guy. And I'm gonna pop this guy out so I can see what the heading bug is doing. And let's go back to the north on the heading. Now, with an airplane like this, it really is nice to be able to pop this guy out so I can see what the heading bug is doing. And and there's my magenta line up here. All right, so what I want to do is try to figure out why I'm not capturing this guy here, and direct intercept, and activate. I don't know if that's to discontinuity. Let's turn hidden off, and let's just clear this, and direct to this guy, nav, VNav. No auto throttle, so I guess that doesn't really matter. Get rid of this guy, because if I do, I can see my speeds a little better. Get my speed up to 270. Well, the speed doesn't work unless I use flight level change. So flight level change 280. All right, and it should lower my nose so I can capture that speed. But I am I am descending. And let's do the altitude to, see, my flight level is 350. Let's go ahead and dial that on in. All right, and vertical speed, and let's have that vertical speed come up. We do 1,500 feet, and then change it to flight level change, and that wants to capture where we will last at. Yeah, so this is not working the way I want, so let's just do vertical speed. We'll just stick with vertical speed and set this guy to 25. Well, 3,000 is good at this altitude. All right, and we'll do our 10,000 foot check in a minute. Now we are losing too much altitude, so we don't want to stall. So let's put these big Rolls-Royce engines to work here. Speed's coming back up, 240. $250. And I don't know why my autopilot is not capturing. It's not capturing this guy. It's got to be something that I'm doing. Direct, 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 direct. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I've done this before. All right, slow it down a little bit. All right, 10,000 foot checks, landing lights and taxi lights are off. And some companies turn off their strobes at 10,000. I prefer to leave them on. And my company prefer that I leave them on. All right, so yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and turn our hidden bug to the hidden's not turning. Okay, now it is. Yeah, we're gonna have to grab this one. Oh, I know why. Duh. I know exactly why I'm not capturing it. I skipped a step, guys. So if you look here, I've got the, I'm telling the computer to fly, to look for a VOR, and I need to have it looking for the, yeah. So that's exactly why I wasn't capturing it, uh, my GPS. All right, so that's better. And of course, in real life, I would have the experience not to make that not to do that, and ATC would be giving me some help too. Of course, they would feel like helping him stay fly his course is not our job, in a citation 10. All right, so let's give the engines a little power. We'll bump it up to about 78. And that reverses our speed drop. We'll go up to about 82 here. I've been needing to calibrate these throttles for the longest on the physically. All right, so we're still dropping, so we still are not ascending. I mean, we are ascending, but we're still losing airspeed. So come on, Rolls Royce engines, do your thing. All right, so we'll go all the way up to climb power. And we'll go ahead and set our barometers to standard, 2992. All right. And we'll back off on our vertical speed a little bit. Even though we got these big Rolls Royce engines, the air is thinner up here. So let me zoom in. So I'm down to 24. Um, 24. Let's go 17, see what happens. We want roughly, um, we were supposed to be getting to our waypoint at 19, at or above 21. I mean, yeah, was it 21? So it looks like we are going to make that. We 4.4 nautical miles away, and 21.9 closer to 22. Yeah, so we actually are pretty much right on target for for crossing the waypoint where we wanted to cross it at. It helped that we got off course a little bit. In fact, we won't actually go over the waypoint. We got Navon, we got FMC. Um, so why am I not seeing my magenta line? Why am I not seeing it? I see I'm in a turn, and 8.2 nautical miles from, like we're going away from our, so FMC, and oh, now light is not on. Now came off for some reason. Heading. So why can't we engage nav now, guys? breakers are not modeled. All right, pull back on our speed a little bit. Don't want to go too fast. And yeah, so that's odd. All right, what's our desired track? Desired track, don't see it there. And so let's back out here, see if we can find our line. So we passed our waypoint. We didn't switch to the next one. Direct to this guy, and then nav. Next, there's no real looking for magenta line. Okay, I see it there. So let's go to nav and make that turn. I think I see it. I mean, I see a magenta line. I think that's it. Is it? All right, this is, I think this is what I want to be flying. And 76 nautical miles. 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna try heading 060. Heading 060. Pop this in, go down here. Zero 60. Heading. Make that turn. Still climbing. Get rid of this guy. And there's no execute button. Direct. What have I done? Flight plan load. I shouldn't have to load it. Let's see, clear. Flight plan. Did I get rid of my flight plan? Looks like I did. Active flight plan. And I don't think it does a secondary flight plan, so somehow or another I completely lost it. All right, so let's reload it, right? Recall list, this guy, activate. All right, so I want to go direct to Arnie. All right, and then go nav. Nav is not coming alive. Heading. And so I see it here. And so anybody got any idea why I can't fly a flight plan? Nav. Okay, I just caught my altitude, so I got to come back on these throttles. Unless I be 300, unless I overspeed the aircraft and damage the wings. All right, so let me get a better view here. And make this guy smaller. little bigger. All right, so seatbelts. All right, seatbelts, strobes, cabin pressure set. Anti-ice is required. Pitot heat on. Altimeter and transition altitude set at 18. Descending is my next checklist. All right, so all of that's done. All right, now looks like I'm gonna have to fly this manually. And to be honest with you, that kind of sucks. All right, so if I can get my head and if I can join that airway, so I am going to, guess I should use the heading bud. So let's get rid of this guy. Turn this emission off. Should have did that long ago, but I've been focused on other stuff. Not a real good excuse. Let me try putting this on FMC. FMC. There we go. There we go. Much better. I don't know whether it was having this guy. You know what? My flight plan looks like it's actually on this guy because I don't see anything on this PDF. Well, it was all right. So I don't see the entire flight plan. I'm just going direct to that one waypoint. So I don't know how to tell. All right. Are you going to come out of that turn? Yep, you are. I don't know how to tell X-plane to fly the entire flight plan. Let's see, active. Let's see what's behind here. Next, next. Page one. On. Yes. So yeah, we're gonna have to put parallels in. Have to do a direct the parallels after we get to there. But that's a 280 nautical mile. Once we get to Arnie, then it's 200, almost 300 nautical miles, 288 nautical miles to Paris. But I would like to go ahead and set that up. So how? And I don't have it. Let's see, let's go. I don't have a way that I know of to execute it. All right. In fact, I lost my entire flight plan. So let me go ahead and hit fuel. Let it sense. Put that in. Um, that was going backwards through the pages. Confirm that. And flight level 470. Nope, that's not correct. So let's go back. Forward. Definitely need to change that. Perf data, perf initialize. Okay, that's page 5. All right, so pref cruise. That's only one page, so ain't there. Climb. Flight level 350. It won't let me change it there. So aircrafts, let's see, initialize 8 passengers, passenger weight, passenger fuel. Let's see, get on page 1 and go forward. And nowhere do I see, oh, this is where it's at. There we go. Next. Now we're good. So bring that down to flight level 350. All right, in that plan. All right, so flight plan and on it at 350. And so I should intercept the line to Arnie pretty soon. But the problem that I'm having is, I tell you what, let's try it in oh, am I that slow? I guess I am. So slow that my autopilot kicked off. And what is wrong with my jet? Okay, so my NG, my N1 is at 96, N2 is at 98, and I'm at 35,000 feet. And I don't seem, okay, now I look like I should be picking up speed a lot faster than that. Actually, let's see, I should be picking up speed a lot faster. I wonder if I got some icing issues. Let me turn on this icing stuff just in case. I don't think I got icing issues, but all right, go back to autopilot. All right, I think she's gonna take that line, descend it. So why is my autopilot kicking off? All right. I am stalling. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm still stalling. Got all my icing on. And hydraulics, electrical, ailerons. Not making any speed here unless I descend. Got a 3,000 foot per minute climb, and I can't seem, okay, finally out of it. And I got a 3,000 foot per minute descent. So, trying to hold it steady by hand. And look at my thrust output. So yeah, I think guys, the best thing we need to do is find an airport and land. Let's see. And yeah, definitely need to find an airport and land. So according to ForeFlight, and let's see if I can pop ForeFlight up. I am headed in the wrong direction whenever I'm flying towards Arnie here. Well, no, that's not true because I didn't put the flight plan fully in ForeFlight. In ForeFlight, I got um, direct to KRDU, so I don't have the waypoints in. All right, but anyway, yeah, let's find a place to land. So pull it back on the throttle a little bit, and we got Selma or Montgomery. Um, let's take Montgomery. All right, and Montgomery is MXF, and that should give us enough time to even get down. So get my view here out the window, straighten up. And dial my flight level down to 5,000. I can't tell how quickly we descending, but if our speed indicator is correct, then even though we were dropping at over 3,000 feet a minute, we won't go in excessively fast. 5,000. All right, 050. Okay, so Montgomery it is. All right. So this is it's why, in part, why I haven't been posting flights in XP12, because I seem to always run into an issue. And this time, I'm pretty sure it's the aircraft, because at N2 at 98, 99%, N1 at 95 and 96%, then I should have been generating enough thrust, especially when I was descending, to just go off the charts. And you know, the aircraft is just not producing any thrust. Let's see if it will now. All right, so my thrust levels are 4. My speed is coming up, but I am descending at 3,000 feet a minute. So So yeah, I'm still not producing any thrust. You know, I'm pretty much wings level at this point, and and yeah. So let's bring it up. Let's bring it in. So guys, I am going to use my fourth flight after to find Montgomery. Actually, I'm already in the airspace. I'm just way, way too high. So let's do a series of 3 6s and declare an emergency. And let's see, whose center would we be in? Atlanta. Atlanta Center. Citation 750 Sierra Whiskey is at flight level 285, declaring an emergency. And we would like, if we can get it, a Montgomery. Squawk 3221 750 Whiskey. All right. And squawk 3221. So now they want to know fuel and souls on board. So we've got 5,000 um, pounds of fuel, and actually I don't know how many. To be honest with you, I don't even know how to do the calculation to see how to convert that to hours. Well, I don't know the burn rate of this aircraft, so uh, let's just tell them we got 4.5 hours of fuel on board. Allowance Center Sierra uh, 750 Sierra Whiskey with 10 souls on board. Correction, 6 souls on board. Uh, correction, 10 souls on board, and 4.5 hours of fuel. So let's just bring it on down. The reason I was couldn't calculate how many souls I had on board. I know it's 2 pilots, so that's two. And then I couldn't remember whether I had 4 passengers or 8 passengers. Normally I fly with 4 passengers, but the the 10, because the FMC will only allow, it's hard coded with 8 passengers. Then I had to go back to 8 passengers. So 8 passengers plus the 2 pilots is 10 souls. Of course, you can't see my first officer, but this technically this plane is not rated for for one pilot. It takes 2 pilots to fly this legally. Something else that I'm seeing is my alternator, my this guy's set. Well, of course it's not holding because my autopilot's off. Okay, I got all my heat on, so I can actually turn the stabilizers off. It's the heat on the stabilizers in the back. And I just need heat when I go through these clouds. Outside air temperature is -11 at this altitude. and I'm at 16. So 3021, and is my altimeter setting. Standard. Come on, guy. That's the button I'm looking for. 3021. Correction, 3012. 3012. 15. All right. And the reason I'm using 3012 is because that's what ForeFlight is suggesting. 3012. That's actually for Selma, but I probably should get some information from Montgomery, since that's where we're landing. So come on, trying to get the iPad to give me information for MXF that want to cooperate. So use Sky Vector here. If I can find. The devil is okay, MXF. That turns out that's actually Maxwell. That's not Montgomery. I was thinking that was a civilian air base, but that's actually Maxwell Air Force Base. So that's what we'll do then. All right. ATIS is 134.7. Down to 9,000. So landing lights can come on. And throw the taxi lights on too. 134.97. Outside air temperature is 6 degrees, so I ain't got to worry about heat. All right, so now let's try to make our way to Montgomery. Pop this out. And that's Selma. Montgomery is, I think we ought to do Selma, guys. Yeah, let's do Selma. Atlanta Center, um, we'll do Selma for a full stop. Selma approach, Citation 750 Sarah Whiskey inbound for a full stop. And I don't know how far we are from Selma. SEL, I think, is the got core, SEM, direct, SEM, direct. All right, so which line do I want to follow? Yeah, so I'm getting 5,100, 5,800 nautical miles to this waypoint. That's probably because I didn't put KSEM, direct. There we go. 8 nautical miles. And look like I'm directly to the. Okay, yeah, good catch there. Um, so it wants me to go to. Okay, there's Selma right ahead of me. All right, so let's put in flaps, speed brake. Try to slow it down. Clear the land, any runway, citation 750 whiskey. Now I think, yeah, there's my runway right here in the middle. Don't want to do a Harrison Ford if I can help it. And I'm not slowing down. Speed brakes are 4. Drop all these flaps. I am not slowing down. All right, so let's kill these engines. Shit, how to kill them? How do you? That's not my. Yeah, I need to get over. I should have the L speed to get over with all this drag that I induced. And my frame rate has taken a big hit. I don't have it. Oh, that was not good. And nobody survived. Would you like to start a new flight? I would say so. At least we died on the airfield. This virtual life, but I tell you what, let's take a look at that. I killed the engines because I was way too fast, and pulling without it drag in, I was still at over 200 knots indicated, and the only way that I knew to kill the engines were to kill that thrust, were to kill the engines, and then I lined up for the freaking taxiway, and if I'd landed on the taxiway, I probably would have lived. But just trying to cross over to hit that runway is probably what killed me. But in reality, they may have had stuff on the taxiway. So, well, I didn't see anything on it. Anyway, let's do a quick replay and see what that looked like, as ugly as it was. So, and I don't think we're going to get the replay because I think X-Plane just crashed to desktop. Yep, it did. Um, well, did it? No, it recovered. That's a first. All right. And my frame rate really took a beating for some reason. All right, let's get. So yeah, and this is where I kill the engines. You hear them die, and then I realize I'm on a closed runway. Um, I should have went on and put her down on that closed runway. So I tried to sidestep to this open runway without any engines to generate any lift, and I never put my landing gear down. Wow. Well, guys, I don't think I would have survived that, even though the crash didn't look that dramatic, but it was. I don't know. Maybe I could have slid and survived. Anyway, who knows? All right, guys, that was interesting, and unfortunately, ooh, unfortunately, the air. You know, if I'd have had my landing gear out, I may would have had a hard, bad landing, but I may have had enough forward momentum to not just do what I did. Anyway, enough of the post mortem. So I hope you enjoyed this. it was it was interesting until the aircraft um, stopped working. That's incidentally that's why there's so much duplication that's built into these aircraft. Anyway, again for the final time. Until next time.
Y'all come back now. Cheers.